For this July 18th meeting of the Board of Aldermen, I am Alderman Dave Plufka, standing in for the mayor who is traveling tonight. Please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Alderman Plufka.
Here.
Alderwoman Tice.
Here.
Alderwoman Sims.
Here.
Alderman Weggie.
Here.
Alderman Gould.
Here.
Alderman Lockmiller.
Here.
Alderwoman O'Neill.
Here.
Alderman Shelton.
Here.
All members present.
Thank you. I now ask any of the board, by their review, are there any items on the agenda they wish to move or add or subtract? Hearing none, seeing none, the agenda stands as presented. The next order of business is number 4. We have two proclamations tonight. The first is regarding the Animal Protective Association of Missouri. Madam City Administrator, would you read that proclamation for us? He wants to read it?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Proclamation in recognition of Animal Protective Association of Missouri. Whereas Animal Protective Association of Missouri was founded in 1922 as a nonprofit organization dedicated to protecting animals and educating the humans who love and care for them. And whereas, through their mission of bringing pets and people together, advancing humane education and creating programs beneficial to the human-animal bond, the APA finds homes for more than 4,500 pets each year. And whereas the APA offers low and no-cost wellness services, as well as educational programs designed to strengthen the connection between people and their pets. And whereas the APA Adoption Center is an open admission shelter committed to finding a safe, loving home for every adoptable animal. And whereas through their 3 pillars of adoption, wellness, and education, the APA impacts more than 16,500 people and 7,000 pets annually, many of them in the Brentwood community. And whereas the APA of Missouri has been at the location on Hanley Road and part of the Brentwood community since 1947 and is celebrating its centennial as a community resource on July 26, 2022. Now, therefore, I, David Plufka, Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Brentwood, Missouri, do hereby declare July 26, 2022, the APA of Missouri Day in the City of Brentwood.
Thanks again.
Very good. Good job.
We have a second proclamation involving our Parks and Recreation Department.
Proclamation, designation of July as Park and Recreation Month. Whereas parks and recreation programs are an integral part of communities throughout the country, including the City of Brentwood, Missouri. And whereas our parks and recreation are vitally important to establishing and maintaining the quality of life in our communities, ensuring the health of all citizens, and contributing to the economic and environmental well-being of a community and region. And whereas parks and recreation programs build healthy, active communities that aid in the prevention of chronic disease, provide therapeutic recreation services for those who are intellectually or physically disabled, and also improve the mental and emotional health of all citizens. And whereas parks and recreation programs increase a community's economic prosperity through increased property values, expansion of the local tax base, increased tourism, the attraction and retention of businesses, and crime reduction. And whereas parks and recreation areas are fundamental to the environmental well-being of our community, and whereas parks and natural recreation areas improve water quality, protect groundwater, prevent flooding, improve the quality of the air we breathe, provide vegetative buffers to development, and produce habitat for wildlife. And whereas our parks and natural recreation areas ensure the ecological beauty of our community and provide a place for children and adults to connect with nature and recreate outdoors. Whereas the United States House of Representatives has designated July as Parks and Recreation Month, and whereas the city of Brentwood, Missouri recognizes the benefits derived from parks and recreation resources. Now therefore, I, David Plufka, by authority vested in me as Mayor Pro Tem of the city of Brentwood, Missouri, and on behalf of the Board of Aldermen, do hereby recognize the month of July as Park and Recreation Month in the city of Brentwood. By the way, David would sign bills and resolutions passed as presiding officer.
Next on the agenda is an opportunity for citizen comments. If there is anybody either online or here in the room who wishes to address this board on any subject, I'll give you 3 minutes. Please identify yourself and your address. Is there anybody online?
No, there is not.
I'll declare the citizen comments section closed. Number 6 are the mayor and aldermanic reports. Neither the mayor nor me has a report. Alderwoman Tice.
No report.
Thank you. Alderwoman Sunny Sims.
Knowing that Ward 2 meetings are famously popular and well-attended, it's never too early to start advertising. So we will be having a Ward 2 meeting on September 7th, which is a Wednesday, starting at 6 p.m. At the Rec Center.
Very good. Alderman Weggie.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank Dan in Public Works and Chief Spees and Chief Cottrell for flexibility in installing a temporary speed hump in Eulalie to alleviate some of the cut-through traffic we're getting. So thank you very much for doing that. And I'd like to remind everybody that there will be a meeting with Brentwood Police on Saturday, the 23rd at 10 a.m. in Broughton Park. So that's an opportunity to share concerns with Brentwood Police about the traffic and what's happening and hear an update on it. So thank you very much.
Terrific. Alderman Gould.
Yes, we actually, due to a conflict, will be canceling our Ward 3 meeting on Tuesday, July 26th. We'll announce any future dates at another meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Lockmiller.
No report.
Alderwoman O'Neill.
Yes, a couple items from the library. First, they're getting a number of new patrons who normally would go to the library headquarters on Lindbergh. Since that is done, empty, gone, patrons are spilling over into other libraries, and the mid-county one is getting some, but there are a number of people coming here asking to get a library card and use our library too. So it's not a huge number, it's not overworking the staff, but it is notable. A second thing is that several weeks ago, months ago, they ordered 5 hot spots for patrons to check out, thinking that people who did not have internet access at home would use them. They've been very popular, so they're going to order 5 more, which will make the waiting list get smaller.
Terrific. Alderman Shelton.
No report.
Thank you. Our next item is number 7, and it's the city administrator's report, Brentwood Bound update. I want to recognize Craig. Come to the microphone and give us his report.
Great. All right, I'm Craig Sawyer with Navigate Building Solutions. I'll be providing the Brentwood Bound update for July 18th. The first category of funding is construction costs. $1,398,478.70 was spent since the last Board of Aldermen meeting. Next is soft costs. $163,176.64 was spent on design fees, utility fees, project management fees, development consulting fees, auditing services, bid advertisement, and material testing. There were no property acquisition expenses spent. Going down to the categories of funding, there were a couple updates there. The first was the city received another Great Rivers Greenway reimbursement. The city received 2 more rent checks from Bowser House, and there was a commissioner's refund that was issued as well. That's my report.
Are there any questions for Craig?
I have one, which I sent by email. Looking at the stream right now, Deer Creek, there's vegetation along the side. I'm wondering, has that been planted, or is that something that's just appeared along the
Close
way?
to the bridge, the Breckenridge Bridge,
Yes.
that's all natural. So eventually that will get disturbed when we do the grading, and then the proposed vegetation will get planted.
It's great erosion control, but it
It
didn't
is.
look particularly placed there.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Thank
Thank you
you.
for the report. We now have the consent agenda. There are 5 items on that consent agenda. Are there any questions or concerns by the board concerning any one item on the consent agenda? Hearing and seeing none, we will vote on them as a group, and I ask for a roll call, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Oh, thank you.
I'll second.
I can't just do that?
There he is, running away
Proceed
with
with the roll
power
call.
as we.
Right, sorry,
Trying to help you out over here.
sorry.
Alderman Plufka?
Yes.
Alderwoman Tice?
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims?
Yes.
Alderman Weggie?
Yes.
Alderman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Lockmiller?
Yes.
Alderwoman O'Neill? Alderman Shelton?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries by a vote of 8 to 0, I guess.
Thank you. There is no old business, and I will move to new business unless somebody wants to. No, that's right. We first have a resolution, number 1379, the observance of Juneteenth as a the Juneteenth federal holiday, observing it in the city of Brentwood. I ask our chairman of Ways and Means, Alderwoman Sims, to sort of introduce this resolution to us.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. We took up this issue at the last Ways and Means meeting and the discussion over whether to add Juneteenth as an additional recognized holiday for our employees for the city of Brentwood. The committee voted unanimously to advance this to the board for consideration. I intend to vote in the affirmative. I think it's important that we incorporate this holiday. It's a federal holiday. It is a state holiday. Banks are closed. We also were provided with a survey of municipalities in the area and their approach to recognizing this holiday. I think that we should be a city that leads the charge on this. So I would encourage everyone to vote in the affirmative to add this, or to vote to add this as an additional holiday. And in addition to, just wanted to point something out for consideration. Not only would it be a holiday, but for our uniformed employees, it would be incorporated as to the how they would. This would be added as an additional holiday in the same manner in which we credit them their recognized holidays. I'm probably they would be paid. So I just wanted to make sure that that was highlighted as you consider this. That's all I have.
Would entertain a motion to adopt Resolution 1379.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there discussion?
Quick
Alderman
question, fully support this. Since we did not have this as an official holiday, did our public safety not receive the overtime this year? And is there a way that we can retroactively do that at
That
this point?
motion would retroactively do that.
It will cover that? Great.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
That she just made.
That was discussed in terms of, and that was my understanding, that in approving this, it would be retroactive to the last Juneteenth.
Right.
Fantastic, thank you.
We'll take a look at that issue. I don't want to, I've not had a chance to discuss it before, but I would remind you that the Missouri Constitution has a prohibition against granting public employees additional compensation after work has been performed. So we ought to take a look at that question and just make sure it's all kosher.
I mean, I think it's good for us to check into that. I think coming from the Ways and Means Committee, I believe that was the motion, is that we would forward this along to the board as well as making it retroactive based on Jason's report to us. Jason, do you have any insight on that? No, okay. So if it's legally, do we need to make an amendment to the
I think
motion
the
to make sure that it's legal?
Amendment to the motion just to acknowledge the Juneteenth, and then we can come
If it-
back with the other
If
part.
it's legal to retro?
I'm sorry, if you want to say recognize, adopt the resolution, apply it to all employees, I presume all employees, right?
Yes.
Subject to, the verification that that's not a problem, that's all. Or to the extent legally permissible.
Yeah, and to chime in on this, I'm looking at the text of Resolution 1379, and it simply talks about the adoption of this as a holiday. Okay, is there any further discussion? Do we need a roll call vote, or can we do this by acclamation?
I would suggest a roll call vote.
Okay, roll call, please.
Okay. Alderman Plufka?
Yes.
Alderwoman Tice?
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims?
Yes.
Alderman Weggie?
Yes.
Alderman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Lockmiller?
Yes.
Alderwoman O'Neill?
Yes.
Alderman Shelton?
Yes.
Motion carries by a vote of 8-0.
Thank you. The second, item B, under new business, is again a resolution, 1381, the modification of weather-related, emergency-related closing policies in the employee handbook. Madam City Administrator, is this? I'm sorry. Jason, thank you.
Yes, all this resolution would basically do is just allow us to modify the existing policy as it stands for weather-related closings. It more or less just provides the city administrator with the latitude to open early or modify our work schedules, especially given the extreme heat as of late.
Are there any questions for Jason? I would entertain a motion to adopt the resolution 1381.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, I call for a roll call.
Alderman Plufka?
Yes.
Alderwoman Tice?
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims?
Yes.
Alderman Weggie?
Yes.
Alderman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Lockmiller?
Yes.
Alderwoman O'Neill?
Yes.
Alderman Shelton?
Yes.
Motion carries by a vote of 8-0.
Thank you. Item 10C is an ordinance 6399. Madam City Administrator.
This will be presented by Whitney Kelly.
Oh, very good.
Good evening. Whitney Kelly on behalf of the City of Brentwood. This item was reviewed at the Planning and Zoning Commission. It is a minor subdivision to split off the 6.17 acres from the existing metro station at 3000 South Brentwood Boulevard in furtherance of the Wetland Creek Restoration Project as part of Brentwood Bound, so that the city can actually purchase the lot and create a legal lot to do so. It leaves 15.036 acres for the metro facility, and therefore the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval.
Did I already ask for a first reading on this? I didn't. Could I have a first reading on this ordinance? No.
Bill number 6399, first reading, an ordinance approving a final subdivision plat of a parcel located at 3000 South Brentwood Boulevard, Lot 2 of Deer Creek subdivision plat into 2 lots, zoned light industrial.
Thank you. And Whitney, I'm sorry to interrupt. You're in the middle of your presentation. Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, sir.
Are there any questions? Steve?
Whitney, once this is separated, it would still remain light industrial, correct?
Correct, but it will be, the city has a contract to purchase it and will redevelop it as or rework it as a wetland creek restoration project.
Does it have to be rezoned in any way to like floodplain overlay or?
No, I don't think that's necessary. Since it will be under city ownership, it kind of, and part of the park, it'll just become part of the park area.
I just didn't know if maybe for grant purposes that having it not be light industrial any longer, that would open up doors of possible grants.
I don't think that has any
They don't
bearing. Yeah.
Okay.
require that the city be the owner of the property.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? Alderman Gould?
Well, I mean, I do have I guess, I'm not too worried about that necessarily, but, for future protection of it, how are our other parks zoned, If we're going to purchase this with the intent of making it a parkland and wetland restoration, I'd hate for a zoning of loophole to have that be developed later.
Typically, cities do not rezone property they purchase since they both make the zoning regulations and ownership of the land. Makes it sort of redundant, but ordinarily, cities do not. To the best of my knowledge, other lands we have acquired for recreation purposes, we have not been rezoning and rely on this Board of Aldermen and the executive branch of the city to care for it and use it appropriately.
Sounds good.
Any other questions? Can I hear a motion to call for a second reading of this ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded for a second reading of this ordinance. Mr. City or City Attorney?
Need to vote on that?
Second reading.
Do we have to vote on that?
Yeah, the first.
Do I have to roll call vote on that, or can I just by acclamation? By acclamation, all those in favor of a second reading, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Now,
Bill number 6399, second reading and consideration for an adoption. An ordinance approving a final subdivision plat of a parcel located at 3000 South Brentwood Boulevard, Lot 2 of Deer Creek subdivision plat into 2 lots, zoned light industrial.
Motion to perfect?
thank you. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I ask for a roll call vote.
Alderman Plufka?
Yes.
Alderwoman Tice?
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims?
Yes.
Alderman Weggie?
Yes.
Alderman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Lockmiller?
Yes.
Alderwoman O'Neill?
Yes.
Alderman Shelton?
Yes.
By a vote of 8-0, Bill number 6399 will become ordinance number 5030.
Thank you. We now come to our second opportunity for citizen comment. If there's anybody online or here in the room who wishes to make a comment on any of the business conducted by the city of Brentwood or on any topic connected with the city of Brentwood, I'll give them 3 minutes. Please identify yourself and your address. Anybody?
Kelly, is anybody on?
There's no one online.
Okay, thank you. I'll close citizen comments. We now have on the agenda a closed session representing both legal and real estate interests, revised Missouri statutes, chapter 610.021, subsection 1 and 2. Can I get a motion to convene in closed session and to adjourn the meeting from that closed session?
So moved.
Second?
Been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Plufka?
Yes.
Alderwoman Tice?
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims?
Yes.
Alderman Weggie?
Yes.
Alderman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Lockmiller?
Yes.
Alderwoman O'Neill?
Yes.
Alderman Shelton?
Yes.
Motion carries by a vote of 8-0.
Thank you, and thank you, everybody.